it's going to be enough here, but the longbowmen are coming out. We do see disciples as well, which are really good at tanking a lot of damage. I mean, look at these walls. This is what it's about, ladies and gents. This is how this differentiates the top level players to the average level players. It's just like, how do you deal with stuff like this? Like, if you don't have the siege, it's so difficult. Hey YouTube, it's your boy Widgie here, coming at you with some more Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition, and today we've got my good friend GG Revnak, probably the top 15 player at the moment in the game, and he's going to be playing the Brits versus a Chinese opponent. And this sort of game really demonstrates the importance of building walls. Yeah, it's the wall meta. I can't stand building them. I just refuse to build them, but there is this really big meta in the sort of top 50, top 100 players where building walls is really necessary, and we're going to see it in this game. So guys, strap yourselves in. Let me know down in the comments below if you're going to adopt any of these strategies, all this good stuff. And of course, if you find this really entertaining and enjoyable, please feel free to drop a like. Let's get into it. All right, let's do this. Okay guys, welcome to another casted game of Brits versus China here, and this is a submission from Revnak. Revnak being one of the top 10 players in the game and has always been pretty much top 10, top 20 in the game, definitely. A very skilled player, been playing for many years, and he basically sent this replay through to me, and he said, look, Widgie, you like China, right? Well, I've got an interesting game for you of myself playing against a Chinese opponent, and it is absolute utopia. So we have him spawning on the top left part of the map here in the cyan as the Chinese. And on the bottom right map, we have good old Revnak playing as the Brits. In the bottom right part of the map is the pink here. In the pink, sorry. So Revnak pretty much playing the Brits most of the time. And I think he plays ports as well. He likes those two civs the most. And of course, we've got some big changes coming along soon for the Brits. Whether or not it's going to make them more OP, I think it's going to make them, you know, a little bit better than we thought. I think with a few changes, it's going to make, you know, the Brits even more versatile, you know, and I don't think they need to be honest. So we're going to see how it works out though. But I think we're going to be seeing Brits on the ladder a lot more than we currently are. So we do see a TP going up in the north part of the map here for Revnak. So most likely going to be going with maybe a VC boom, a Virginia company boom. But let's see what happens. And let's have a look at absolute utopia here. So utopia is no one's picked their decks yet. We do see a double village going down. So no TP start for China. So it's going to be interesting to see what they roll with. Doing some good herding here. I like it. And it's already got 4 herdables and a 5th one here coming in, which is really good because the village acts as a livestock as well. So it fattens goats and stuff faster. So when you have this many, it's really good for China because they can really get that food a lot quicker, which is nice. Northern refugees going down. So we do have the deck here, and let's have a quick look at it. This is the deck. So we have Northern refugees. Everything here is pretty standard. Age 2 is pretty standard. Age 3... this is an unusual one, the Sega herd. Each village and town centre will do a one-time muster of 4 Sagas. That's an interesting one there. I don't normally see that. The Beiyang army is an unusual one as well, but, you know, it can be used in certain circumstances. But overall, it's a pretty straightforward deck here. Nothing hugely unusual. We do have the old dynasty reforms here, which is just basically increases the damage of all the sort of lower tier units, the Chukanu, the Kiang Pikemen, and the Kashyyyks and Steppe Riders. So that's if you wanted to go like pure old Han army. You can go for that. Now let's have a look at Revnak's deck here. So Revnak's deck, land deck, looks very sort of standard. Once again, guys, this is just copy and paste and use this. You know, there's nothing out of the ordinary here. If you're playing Brits, just have a deck like this and you'll be pretty sorted. You know, pretty much even on water maps as well. Like, it's a pretty solid deck. There's always a few variations here and there, like the 1,000 wood and 1,000 coin, and also the 8 fills. But overall, it's pretty standard. The Sega, yeah, Sega. I've said that right, haven't I? I've said that right, Sega. Let me see. Yeah, Sega herd. Army of Sonics. Welcome, Inquisitor. Welcome, dude. Glad to have you here. So we do see a summer palace going down. So very standard in a sort of a defensive position as well. Kind of an unusual place to, well, it's kind of hard to put down a summer palace here in the right spot because you've got all these trees dotted around on this map. It can be kind of tricky. What do we see in the meantime? We do see majority of vills going over to wood and some staying on food for vill production. So very sort of standard here. Nothing out of the ordinary. Let's have a look at vision for Utopia, how much he's actually scouted of the map so far. Doing a pretty good job. I've obviously spotted the where the TP is. And let's have a look at Revnak's side, aging up with the Naturalist. So that's quite greedy, the Naturalist. We do see the VC boom definitely coming in. We can see that that's happened. And it's all on wood, baby. We've already got 7 houses down already. We've got another one coming out here for vision, as you can see. Let's have a look at Revnak's vision. We can see that spreading out some of the houses now, enabling him to get vision of the map of any sort of raids, anything like that. And, you know, houses are so cheap as well now with that VC card. So I think pretty much we're going to be seeing wood here. Yep, there it is. 700 wood coming in. And at some point, most likely, a barracks will be going down, I assume, or a stables. No market, though, or anything like that. We're just purely chopping wood. Look, all those vills coming in really quickly there. Let's have a look at Utopia now. What is Utopia planning? We do see a Forward War Academy going down, and the 700 wood is coming in. So pretty standard, really. I mean, you could have gone with a TP opening. You could have gone with a T export opening. There's different ways of playing, like the opening now of China. But this is one of the standard openings, you know, double village, 700 wood. You know, it's pretty standard here, to be honest. And I don't know whether we're going to see some old harm production. We're probably going to see that. So we're probably going to start to see our Chew Canoe, our pikeman. And there it is, coming straight in, 255 food and 180 wood. Now, that would have been cheaper if we went with the T export card and opened up with a TP. We could have gone German relations. We could have got cheaper banner army cost. But there's just different ways of playing it, you know. We don't see any market coming down either. I normally like to get a market out as well when I get my 700 wood to help with all of my eco. And this is just going to be, I think this is going to be Utopia's play here, trying to siege down these manor houses. You know, he's trying to get vision of where he's going. I think he's going to go straight to the TP first. But having these houses here will hopefully help Utopia siege them down. And we do see a forward village coming out here. It's going to be helping to herd these in, which is great. And look like he's going to get a kill on that vill, which is brilliant. And we do see 7 step riders coming out now. And further production. We do see we got 2 banner armies backed up here in queue. And looks like the Explorer is going to go down as well, which is also going to be great XP for Utopia. And 7 step riders on the way is going to enable raiding, sieging. They're really good at that. So trying to confine Revnak to his base. And we do see 600 wood now coming out. So just all on wood. That's what it's about. And he's nearly got all of his manor houses. And you should, ideally, if you're doing a VC boom, you should have all your manor houses built around 7 minutes, ideally. And you can see 38 vills is a lot there. And it looks like we do have the stable opening here for Revnak. Not the barracks, sorry. We do have the stables, which is probably the best thing, to be honest. And just further old harm production. What's the next card for Utopia? It is going to be the Qiang Pikeman. So we've got 700 wood, Step Rider, Pikeman, and I'm hoping that we're going to see a Consulate going down at some point, but we don't see that. Doesn't seem to be any Consulate play here at all. And I'm going to be trying to push in on the base now of Revnak. He does only have Huss available right now, and he is getting some longbow out. Still trying to get those 4... Okay, 4 Huss have managed to come out. Longbow on the way. But really committing here. Utopia is really trying to get stuck in and try and deal with this as best he can. And this is going to be a pretty good trade here for Utopia. But he does need to be careful because he is under the TC. And that means militiamen, which are being called. And also now longbowmen are going to be coming out from the home city very shortly as well. But we do see a reinforcing army coming from Utopia. But I don't think it's it's going to be enough here. But the longbowmen are coming out. We do see disciples as well, which are really good at tanking a lot of damage. And this is getting a little bit of a sticky situation for Revnak here. Even more Kiang pikemen coming on the way to deal with the hussars. And he's only got a couple of hussars left, and that's pretty much it. And let's have a look at Utopia. He is now getting the Chukanu, so he's going all out for his infantry cards here. And this is very similar to how I play China in Age 2, but I tend to go a slightly different route with a different sort of composition. But he's sort of going Old Han here, which is absolutely fine. And now we do see the Step Riders doing a good job here. Now, the thing is Utopia's going to have to try and think about some sort of cav here, I think, because if Revnak continues to create longbowmen, he's not going to have much cav left because he's used all of his Step Riders now. And this is the time when it can get a little bit dicey for China when they do lose their Step Riders. But it looks like he's just going to be trying to siege the TC here. So Utopia just going for it, you know? Really trying to see if he can get the TC down. I don't know if that's the best move, to be honest, but is there enough? I don't think there is, but we do see more Chukanus coming down. They don't have a lot of siege. They have barely any siege. Musk's coming out here as well now from the TC, from the home city shipment. And Revnak here continuing to create... He's going Hussar Longbowman, which is probably the best thing for him. But Utopia doing a great job with hunting down those Hussars around the surrounding area, trying to deal with any pressure that Revnak's trying to put here. And Revnak is in a really, really interesting position. It looks very dicey for him, to be honest. I mean, what else can he do? He's got 4 Huss, a couple of longbowmen, and Utopia doing a really decent amount of damage there. And now we do see the Ming army coming out, which is a rare one. I don't normally see this army coming out. We do see a consulate going down now as well. We do not see any market at all at the moment. So the Ming is the Kashyyyk and the pikemen. So basically really good at cav. So I would have resigned. That mass is so overwhelming. Yeah, this is the thing. This is what differentiates us, Crispy, from the pro players. When you think it's all over, you just GG. But Revnak, he loves a good wall, and that is exactly what he's doing. Like I just couldn't be bothered to build walls if it was me, but that's just the difference between the top level players and people around like the average ELO, like around 1200, 300, 1300 ELO. Yeah. It's this incessant wall building and holding out, and you know, so I just don't have time for that, you know. I just feel like I want to get on to the next game, you know, which is probably a wrong attitude to have. But we do see Utopia now just sieging some of the outskirts, the houses on the outskirts here that are giving Revnak some vision. It also gives Utopia some juicy XP there, 84 XP per house, which is very nice. We do see a good old Ford Market coming in here just to provide some more vision, I believe. And we can see a real macro split now. That the macro is completely shifted, and we're going into more of a food gold production. And it looks like he's going to be trying to age up here now, I think. I'm getting that feeling anyway, that he looks like he's going to be aging up. He did send the 700 coin, and so he kind of went 700 wood, then went 3 units, 3 unit cards, and then went for 700 coin and then aging up. So pretty straightforward, really. And this is what I forget to do when I play Age 2 a bit. I forget to do this. I always forget to think about aging up. I always forget. So now the Confucian Academy is going down. Interesting. So we don't see the Porcelain Tower. We see more of a military wonder going down here. I don't know what I would have gone for in this situation, to be honest. It's a difficult one. Hey, AOE Watcher, welcome, dude. He should have taken out the TC when he had the chance. I don't think he had enough to do it, personally. I mean, look at these walls. This is what it's about, ladies and gents. This is how this differentiates the top level players to the average level players. You got this incessant walling, and I just hate it. I hate walls in this game. I hate the whole wall play. I understand why you got to do it, but it's just awful, you know. Like, Revnak is clearly behind here. You know, he's nowhere near aging up. He's in age 2. He hasn't got max mana houses. So all he can do is just wall up for now. And I think it's a pretty good... I think because he's spotted the walls, I think Utopia's going for the Confucian Academy so that he can get Flying Crow production, which is really, really good against buildings. And I think he knows that he needs to... He can't wait around. He needs to push in. So he's going to be aging up very shortly. I wonder what card he's going to go for. Whether he's going to go for the intervention card. I mean, there's lots of options here. He could go Meteor Hammer. He could go for the Changdao for more siege. I'm very interested to see what card he's going to go. Oh, he's trying to get the Bei Yang. He's going for the Bei Yang. The 8 Step Riders and 8 Kashyyyks. And it gives upgrades. I didn't actually know that. That's actually really good. Get upgrades for both the Step Riders and the Kashyyyks. Very nice. Maybe I should get that in my deck. That sounds pretty cool. He is also upgrading the Chu Canoes as well. Because he does have a lot of them. 24 Chu Canoes. He's probably not going to stay with Chu Canoes. I'm sure he'll probably decide to start going the standard army. Sorry, the territorial army, which is the Arquebusier. He's probably going to switch up with that, I imagine, but we'll see. I just mean, if you go for the TC in the first place, you have to commit. Otherwise, take out barracks and stables. Yeah, I think he should have gone for, like, the barracks or something. So, we do see a push now coming from Utopia. And is Revnak ready to age up? He is not. He's got 700 coin on the way, so he's going to be there shortly. But he's just got to hold out for as long as he can. And there's a lot coming his way. We've got upgraded Step Riders, giving 30 siege. We've got a lot of pikemen, and they're all going to be trying to siege through these walls. And but the thing is, it's so difficult to get to these longbowmen. You know, and these longbowmen have such range here, and they're going to do great here. Such a great little pocket that Revnak has. It's great wall building, great architecture, and it's going to enable him to get so much value from the longbowmen because of their range. And Utopia in a bit of a strange situation. He is going to be able to get that gate down, though. What's going to happen is Revnak's just going to go behind this gate now. So then he's still got more freedom. Hussars getting involved. I'm sure the longbowmen are going to be targeting down those pikemen and the Kashyyyks. But a lot of those Hussars are starting to fall relatively quickly. And there is a big mass here still to deal with. And we do see the intervention card coming out. So... we went Bei Yang, now we're going Intervention, which is going to give more redcoats, more musketeers. But, I mean, look at these longbowmen. Look how well they've done. You know, like, this is the play. This is the walling that's just... it's just like, how do you deal with stuff like this? Like, if you don't have the siege, it's so difficult, you know, and China struggle with siege early. When they get into age 3, they don't really... I mean, you do have a Flying Crow card that you could probably get out, maybe. We see 5 Meteor Hammers are going to be coming in on the way as well. It's still a while for that free Flying Crow to come out as well. Let's have a look at Revnak's position. Now we do see an age up coming in. The Adventurer, which I believe is the... I think it's the Hussar. And now we see Musketeer production coming in. I think it's probably because he's got quite a lot of longbowmen anyway. It's got so many vills, though. 60 villagers. And Utopia only with 40 vills here. That's why I think sometimes maybe the Confucian wasn't the best. I think maybe going for the Porcelain Tower, getting that really good eco for wood and everything, just makes life a lot easier. And we do see hand mortar production coming in. You can get a 7 hand mortar card, which is quite nice, because you could have gone for that potentially to deal with the walls. But we do see it coming in now. And let's have a look at the... can't really see the stats of them until they set up, which is kind of annoying. Hey, El Zeus, how you doing, man? You could do those one-pot mortars and would probably fortify outside of all those walls. Yes. I mean, we do see these mortars coming in now. They are one population, which is amazing. They do... what do they do? They do 5 times 16 damage. So they do 80 damage, 80 siege damage per hand mortar. We've got 5 here. So every shot is 400 damage. So it's going to take a good few rounds to get this down, but this is the best way to deal with it, I think. You've really got to try and force the fight. If you challenge the TC, you're going to have to force Revnak to push out, and that's what we see here. And Utopia's going to try and go in with the Meteor Hammers first. Musketeers are not upgraded yet for Revnak. He's got the upgrades coming in along with the Longbowmen, but he just needs to keep focusing that TC. He's doing a great job at dealing with it. Scores are relatively the same here. They've been pretty much neck and neck the whole game. And he's managed to age up. And he's got the Hussars out. Only 5 Hussars on the field. Trying to see if they can get round to the hand mortars, but it's not going to work. We do see now more redcoats coming out from the consulate here. And I think Revnak's going to try and do a backdoor raid here with 5 Hussars. TC is down, and it's just flooding in with like the Mongolian Scourge here coming in. Look at this. All the iron flails, meteor hammers, step riders, everything coming in here. And you know what? He's just going to take his time, you know? He's done a good job taking that TC out. Do we see another TC? We do. There's a sort of a sneaky TC over this side of the map. So, you know, Revnak is anticipating everything and continually training longbowmen here. And a big Flying Crow is now out from the Confucian Academy. Still some Hussars wandering around, seeing what they can do. And Revnak now has a card available. He's getting an artillery foundry down. Most likely going to be the Culverin to deal with the hand mortars and the Flying Crow, I imagine. Now, what's Utopia going for? Utopia going for 10 arquebusiers. This is a really interesting China build here, but that Flying Crow completely out of position, and those 5 Hussars are going to try and get stuck in and see what they can do. Is Revnak going to lose all the Hussars for the Flying Crow? I think he might do. He's definitely lost 3. Yep, he's lost them all. Was that worth it? I'm not too sure. Probably. But look at all these longbowmen still getting value in these walls once again, just being so annoying, just getting in the way. Revnak doing a great job putting those down, and it's sort of funneling Utopia's troops in a certain way that's making it unfavorable for him. So, and he's going to have to try and see what he can do. And if I was Utopia right now, I would be so annoyed. I'd be getting so mad at this play. You just can't do anything. You can't touch them, you know, and the longbowmen are just continually firing, getting so much value. It's insane. And we do see, as I mentioned, Culves are coming out. 3 Culves onto the field. And these Culves are going to try and snipe the hand mortars. And Culves trying to get into a nice position here. The flails are trying to get on the Culverins, but unfortunately there's just so many musks there. He's starting to lose quite a lot of his mass, actually, and Utopia in a bit of a sticky situation with economy here. Currently getting just 1 territorial banner army is currently underway. The longbowmen are just so much value. Like, just, it's insane. Look at them go. Look at them go. Just, I mean, this wall play is just amazing. Like, the wall meta is just nuts. I mean, just look at it. Look at the battlefield. It just looks absolutely mental. And just doing a great job with, like, you know, doing like the sort of the gate trick where you put a gate between 2 areas and you can just sort of walk between the gate, and it means that your enemy can't get to you. CDs. And yeah, he's just doing a really good job here. Now we see 2 Falcons rolling out as well now for Revnak. And 8 Vils on the way now. He's that confident. He's getting 8 Vils off of this as well. And we do see that we got a bunch of Utopia's Vils over here, very close to Revnak's new TC. Does Utopia know that it's there? He does not. He can see that there is a dead zebra here, but he has no idea. He's starting to hunt this as well. And whoever spots it first could grab all of these Vils. There's 15 Vils here, which would be a huge, huge win for Revnak. And he's managed to survive. I mean, look at the mess of his... I mean, look at his base. What are we looking at right here? Are we playing a treaty game or supremacy? Like, what is going on? And it looks like, yeah, Utopia has spotted the this new base here, and he's got another TC down. And another free-flying crows coming out now as well. More veils equals more walls. Indeed, indeed. Okay, let's have a look at what Revnak's doing. He is now going for some Dragoons. So it looks like Longbow Dragoon, which is basically like a Skirm Goon composition. It's a recent new sort of composition that I kind of like. It kind of works, but it can be quite scary because if your opponent does have a lot of cav, you've kind of got to deal with all of that with your longbowmen and trying to micro them, so it can be a little bit tricky. But you can see here, there's only a handful of cavalry from Utopia here, and the Dragoons is just going to be able to clear up these meaty hammers. But a lot of the longbowmen are going down, though. You know, kind of an interesting place for Revnak to try and engage here. And widespread losses there on both sides, but we can see now a huge eco gap. Look at that, 70 vils for Revnak. Only 49 now for Utopia. And soon he's going to start running out of food. But he does actually have a hunt here that he knows is there, but he decided to go for this one. A little bit more risky. Look how close he is to these TCs. And he's still got these 16 vils here. And he doesn't have any village really nearby to garrison just for safety. So kind of a crazy one. We can see all of Revnak's vils just right out the front here. You know, just do not care about the impending danger. And what else do we see here? What else do we see? What's going to be the next card? Are we going to be trying to go for... I mean, there's no point going for Manchus. We've got Dragoons and Longbowmen out here, so there's no point going for Manchus. I'd probably say maybe actually going for the Sega Herd if we start to get challenged on a lot of the hunts, or just going for the good old Territorial Army upgrade. But, I mean, there's not a lot of military left. We've got about 50 population of military, and...
Oh my, that's going to leave a nasty little mark.
Jaeger, thank you very much, dude, for the raid. I appreciate it, man. Welcome, party of 12. Come on in. We are casting a few games here. This one is Revnak versus Utopia. Another China game, which is absolutely great. But look at this, absolute. The Vils are just committed. Revnak is just throwing away Vils here, not even backing off. And he's kind of baiting their cavalry in there with his Vils, and the Dragoons are clearing it all up. Was that worth it? I don't know. I don't know how many Vils were lost there. We'll find out at the end, but maybe lost about 6 or 7 Vils. I think that was an okay sort of trade. He did clear up all the cavalry, and we just see another territorial army popping out to their demise, and it's looking pretty dire here. We do see this is Utopia's final massive units. It's right here. We don't see any other raids or anything else happening on the map. We see 2 war academies down, and we do see the Mongolian army. This is a card that I really enjoy now using. It's such a great card. And it's really good at this kind of composition, I would say, definitely. Hey, Jaeger, what's up, dude? So, yeah, so we do see the Longbowmen's doing what they do best, just outranging and just doing just some serious damage and getting huge value as well. Being guarded by the Dragoons as well, so any sort of cav that try and get in their way, these Dragoons are going to be able to deal with it. We do see 15 Dragoons on the battlefield. And what do we see now? We do see a veteran Hussar upgrade, so maybe going to be switching into a few Hussars potentially as well. But score gap is now widening quite significantly, 7k difference. And what do we see up here? We do see a kind of a strange skirmish, Sentry Irregular versus Settlers here. And what an interesting, you don't normally see a battle like this on the field, but it's definitely happening here. And we do see a kind of an interesting... separate base here, all the way to the north of the map, similar to how Revnak's done it, building multiple war academies. I think he probably knows that he's going to lose these war academies, so he's starting to prepare for that already, building a couple more down here. But look how much gold is coming in, though. So much gold. Territorial armies are coming out. This is the thing with Age 3 China. It's pretty much territorial army and it's the green banner army. I can't remember what it's called now. Always forget. territorial, and it's the forbidden army, which is the Iron Flail and the Meteor Hammer. So you normally get that composition is a very sort of standard comp to go. And Revnak is just pushing so much into his base here. Like he's just coming in. You know, he's literally moving his Vils forward. He's got a Vil on berries. I mean, look at the BM in right here. He's got the berries. He's just moving his Vils in to take as much as he can. And unfortunately now Utopia is in a position where he's on berries for some of his food. He doesn't have any villages built here. I would build a village here as soon as possible and just garrison in it. It's probably the best bet. And we see Dragoons here taking some more Vils out, and it's going to be a bit of a slaughter. We've got Longbowmen homing in as well. And we've got a small army of Utopia's army here trying to challenge the middle. You can see that they're mining here. He's got that vision. And unfortunately, these Vils are going to be lost. I think probably building a couple of... GG indeed. Building a couple of villages on the outskirts here might have been the better bet to do, potentially. But, you know, hindsight is a beautiful thing. And we do now see Vet Huss on the field, and this is where it's going to get a little bit dicey. Unfortunately, it looks like this Flying Crow is going to be taken down. There's only sort of 3 Changdao to deal with all of this. Is it enough? I don't know. The Hussars are sort of just going to sacrifice themselves. Definitely worth it for Revnak there. And now he's moving in with his main mass. And yeah, this is how you defend, guys. This is how you defend. It's all about the walls. It's all about the walls. You saw how far Revnak was behind, right? You saw that. You know, if you just come in, what happened is that Revnak was way behind in aging. Utopia did a great push. He took out pretty much all of his military, started to try and siege down the TC, but then decided not to, moved back, and then was in a great position to age. He aged way quicker than Revnak, and then decided to push in after the age up. But Revnak, between that time, he put so many walls down, and he had a great group of bowmen, longbowmen, that managed to deliver so much value because they were behind the walls and they had the range. Yeah, AOE Watcher saying, I'm still not building walls. Yeah, I'm not. I'd rather just die than build walls. I don't know why. I'm just not that much of a sweaty gamer. You know, I mean, let's be honest. You know, Revnak, people top 100, top 50, they are sweaty AOE3 gamers. Of course they are. You know, that's why they're at that level. Of course they're sweaty. And I don't know if I've got the energy to do that. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't think I've got the energy to mess around building walls and trying to survive, and I don't know if I can deal with that stress, you know. I'd rather just GG, on to the next game, and that's me right there. But look at Revnak absolutely doing a stellar job here, and we know, like, the Brits are I mean, they're just such a strong civ. I mean, just regardless of the walls, I mean, the Longbowman unit itself is also so good in a defensive sort of position. We see all these Falcons now coming out. I mean, this is looking pretty grim now for Utopia. He hasn't really got anything for these Falcons. He hasn't got any hand mortars. He hasn't really got any cav. What is he going to do to deal with it? Honestly, I don't know. We see 10 more longbowmen coming out now, and a huge score gap. And it's looking pretty dicey here, and I think it's probably a GG here. Free Flying Crow coming out is just absolutely going to get pelted down by longbowmen. And yeah, Utopia has... all he's got is people on berries. He's got people on berries on the north of the map. And when you're on berries, ladies and gents, it can get really rough. And here we go. This is the final sort of nail in the coffin, I believe. He's just going to try and do what he can. But with all those Falcons and all those longbowmen, any infantry is just going to be decimated. And that's what we're seeing right now. Just going to move forward and take this Confucian Academy out, I think, and then probably onto the TC, I imagine. The Longbowman Dragoon comp. Don't mess with it. It's a pretty good comp. We do see the sentries, irregulars coming out now as well. I don't know what they're going to be able to do. Probably nothing. They're just going to get blown away. We do see a little backdoor effort here, but look at that. Perfect. Revnak dragging his troops and clicking to rearrange. And he's done a great job here with the Falcons. Look, you just can't get to them. Impossible to get to those Falcons. And they're just going to just obliterate all these troops. And there it is. GG. GG. So what an absolute crazy game there. And that just really shows you the power of building walls and understanding the wall meta. And that is exactly what we've seen, and how we should go about designing our walls and building them and arranging them in a certain way. And even though Revnak did that, he did lose his TC. He lost his TC. The TC was actually here. The original one was here, and he lost it. But before he lost it, he was building a backup one over here. And that's something that a lot of people forget to do, that they're focused on what's going on and they don't think about, let's build another TC. Let's try and survive. You know, a lot of people just can't be doing with it. They can't be dealing with it, and they just GG, which is fair enough, because that's what I would do, you know. But Revnak on a whole nother level with the level of walling as well, and the style of play and the micro with the longbowmen and getting the most value out of them. And, you know, even though he was so behind there, he still won. And that's what makes a really good player, you know. Even if you're behind, you put up such a resistance and an effort to win the game that you can just come back like that. So basically, no matter what mistakes you make, you can pretty much still hold on and you can still turn it around and win. And that's something that differentiates, you know, people at the top level to people around the average level like myself. So really, really interesting to watch. I love watching China gameplay. So Revnak, thank you very much for submitting that replay, dude. I appreciate it.